Well, welcome back to Two Guys in the Outdoors. Bob's here, and I'm going to do something that I have never done before. Show other people what's in my packs and in my head. So, don't run off. It's not that scary. So, I'm going to walk through what I do, let's say the morning of my hunt. Okay? So I typically keep three things in my truck, in the back of my truck. I got this pack, okay? I got my hunting pack, okay? And then I'll have my saddle climbing stuff, okay? So before I go hunting, I usually have a plan of some sort of where I'm going to hunt and when I'm going to hunt. How I am going to hunt will depend on how I feel that morning. Okay. I have ladder stands, I have hang-on stands that's up, we're hunting deer, and then I also saddle hunt. And I also hunt on the ground, and I actually hike and hunt, or stalk and hunt, or however you want to say it, walk and hunt. Okay. So depending on how I feel in the morning, or in the afternoon when I go hunt, will determine how I want to set my pack up. Okay, so I keep this stuff in my truck when I'm going to hunt for several times a week. Okay, just so I'm not taking it in, taking it out, taking it in, taking it out. The only thing I may not keep in my truck is my bows. I try to keep them, especially if it's going to get really cold or really hot. I don't want to leave them in my truck, okay? Try to keep them more temperature controlled, okay? So, why do I have two different packs in my truck? Well, the one I carry, and it's got the basic stuff that I want to always keep, okay? The other one is things that may be hung on the outside of my pack and will be determined by how I'm going to hunt. So let's go through this first pack first. Let's go through this pack on my left side first. Okay. So, first thing there is some rattling antlers. I'll take this, not necessarily if I'm walking and hunting, okay, but if I'm going to be sitting in a stand of some sort, or if I'm in my saddle or on a ground blind and I'm going to sit and hunt, then I might take these, and that would go on the outside of my pack. Okay. Getting into this is another thing that would be determined that morning. If I'm going to walk around and hike through different things, or if I'm going to be in a stand that I can see distances and I can see what's coming up, then I might take my bino horns. If I'm not going to take it, I will take my rangefinder off and throw it in my pouch. Okay? Now, this is a hodgepodge of different things I've created. Just took an old Vortex pouch, and I've got some wind detection stuff here. I got my knife. I've got a light. Took the Vortex off and got me a flag on it, and I got my rangefinder, and on the back side there's actually a whistle. So I always want to have a whistle with me when I am out in the woods. Okay. The next thing on here would be determined if I decide to hunt in a hang-on stand, or if I'm going to walk in and use my platform. And this is my saddle. So it's got everything that I need to use to saddle hunt. My saddle, my ropes, my knee pads. It's got everything that I need. It's all right there. So basically, if I'm going to be using this, there's a higher probability that I'll use my sticks and my platform, and they'll just go right on the back side of my pack with these handlers bound to that. Okay? The next thing that's in here is if I'm going way back into the woods and I might have to pack out a deer, then I have what I call my pack out bag. Okay, that's just some gloves I just threw in here. But the rest of this is dealing with, it's got a tarp, it's got some game bags, it's got a little hoist system, okay, which I would carry this with me if I'm not going too far. If I'm going way back in there, then I might just use an old stick, okay, or I might use my walking stick, okay. So that's my deer skinning and quartering. And then way down to the bottom of the pack, and it's down there simply because I don't use it much anymore. But if I'm in a ladder stand, I still have my harness. So if I decide to hunt in a ladder stand, which I don't do it too often anymore, I have a harness, okay? Primarily this year, it's either been walking in my saddle on a hang-on, or climbing up on my platform, or I've actually used my platform for a seat hunting from the ground. Made some little ground blind out of some local shrubs. Okay. What else is in this pack is extra lights, flashlights, headlight, a second walking stick in case I'm really wanting to go in some areas that I'm going to climb some hills. But that makes all those decisions. There's also in the top here, I won't get into it, there's a little toolbox and camera gear for my camera that's on my bow. Okay, so that's that bag. Getting into this determines what I'm going to take into here on how I'm going to hunt that day. Okay, so now that I know what I'm going to do, and I'm hunting, then I got my standard gear. Especially now, whenever there's muzzleloader season or whatever, I always have an orange hat with me. I have at least one trekking pole with me because I never know. I might decide to walk back, especially now that I'm doing my hunt fitness, trying to get a little bit more fitness in. So I got the orange on here just because it's always good to have a bandana. Okay, but I keep it on my pole just simply because visibility. Okay. On these outside packs, this is stuff that I need or I use more frequent. This is if I'm not taking my binos, I at least have a small little solo, what do they call them, monocular, a monocular, and then another orange bandana, okay, some extra rope. Now it's towards the end of the season, it's getting a little bit more things in it, okay, because I've been trying different types of ropes for haul ropes. Okay. Depending on how I'm hunting, now that you've seen in one of my episodes, I'm starting to hunt with the recurve. So I've got my glove. I'm also trying to practice rappelling. As you can tell, this has not been used yet, but that's part of my attempt to become a one sticker. Okay, so that's just in there if I get the urge to one stick, which I've got my saddle set up for one sticking. Okay. On this side, got a set of gloves. I had a good friend of mine tell me once, I have two sets of these. These are a little bit more robust when I go to climb my sticks. Okay, but orange gloves, a little bit more noticeable. And I've got some scent stuff in here. Okay. In the fronts, I've got my release in case I do take my compound out, my headlamp. So this is the one I'm using. I always have that with me. On this side is just some carabiners that I can hang off of a limb and hang some stuff from while I'm in the tree. Something to string my bow. Okay, my recurve. Okay, so that's in there. And then I have, because being out in the middle of public ground amongst all the trees, it gets dark. So I want to make sure I always have plenty of light. So I have a few lights that I keep in my pack. So that's the outside. Then I'll have a water bottle. Okay, I was using plastic, just a regular water bottle, but it got so noisy because the plastic bottles are so thin anymore that now I just have this water bottle. It's a little extra weight, but it doesn't make as much noise. Okay. Wintertime, I've got my little muffs when I'm sitting there. Inside here will be some more gloves. Let's see what else. A grunt call. I've been afraid that I would drop my phone from the tree stand. So I got a little thing I can hook on to myself, and I got my phone right here. Because when you're bored up in the tree stand, sometimes I read a book because it's so peaceful. And then hot hands. Take a couple of these, throw them in these muffs. Man, it keeps your hands warm. Okay. This went in my bag yesterday. This is my rain gear. Because as you've seen in the short that I did the other day, I didn't have this on Monday when I went out. So it went in my bag. These are some steps that I'm trying to move towards with my saddle. There is a 3-step aider, okay, that I'm practicing with. Some more ropes because I've been trying. Now, luckily enough, with my new way of dressing, the different layers that I've been wearing, I haven't had to pull this out. So this may not be in my bag next year. But this is my little puffy coat for when it got really cold. But with the layers that I've been wearing, I've been out and it's been in the mid-20s and I've actually sweated. So I have the Virginia hunting and trapping stuff in there. And then I've got a map. I put this in here so I'd write my field notes, okay? But I find out that I just put it on notes in my phone. And then I got a compass in here. So this does have a place for a bladder for water. I was using it for a while, but now this took the place of that since I started using this. Okay. You'll notice I put a lot of things in pouches. This is my field dressing pouch. I've got gloves, tape, so I can for tracking. Okay, so I keep track of where I've been. This is peroxide, to where I can spray it on the ground. And you know how when you put it on a cut, it kind of bubbles up? Well, it kind of does that when you're looking at blood trails. Okay. This is my little haul for dragging a deer back. Some Ziploc bags if I decide to take some of the innards. Gloves. Cleanup. Luckily enough, I travel, so I get these given to me from Enterprise. And then a magic light so I can find all the blood. Okay? And that came about simply because I was out with a friend looking for a deer. Man, it was hard to find blood. And you're looking for just a tiny little drop. So I got that. I'm a gadget guy. Jason knows it. He laughs at me about it.
Hey, it works for you, man. That's awesome.
Now, everybody needs something now and then. Toilet paper, so it's in there. Just an arm guard in case I feel like my clothes are not being tight to me. This is the knife that I use for just about everything. Okay. And then I told you I have my little knife sharpening pack right here. And you'll see that it has small little stone and a piece of leather. Just something that I can touch up the edge if I'm skinning or if I'm quartering or if I'm just field dressing and I feel like the knife's just not sharp enough, I can actually touch it up. And then for them days that takes you forever to get to your stand and you're sopping wet and you're sweaty, just to try to get rid of some of that smell. Let's see what else. Then last but not, oh no, this is my backup tether, because I've switched this in here, so I like having a backup just in case something new. Anytime I try something new, I try to have the backup in my pouch or my bag somewhere, just so I don't have to stop the hunt because it didn't work. I can move on. Then this here, I'm not going to go through everything that's in it, but it's my first aid kit. It's just basic first aid stuff, nothing spectacular. I am working on a better one that has tourniquets, splints, and more trauma related, because I'm going to try to hike way back further into the woods than I normally do. As I said, I always have at least one of these in my pack somewhere to where I can get to. So, that's my pack. Any questions, Jason?
I think you got it, buddy. I mean, you got it.
What would you carry in your pack that I don't have here?
I think you got everything that I carry. You carry way more than what I do. And, that's okay. Because everybody has different needs. I know now when I hunted with my kids, my lands, I carried everything under the sun because I was taking care of my kids and I wanted the hunt to be comfortable for them. So now I don't carry near as much. I've got a first aid kit. I've got lights, extra batteries. I've got extra layers. Because as you're learning hiking in, you get hot and sweaty. So I wear as I go in as light as I possibly can. So I'm packing that stuff in with me. But no, I can't think of anything that I carry that you don't.
So just to give you a little bit of background on this. So I've only been hunting in Virginia for what? This is my third season. So I'm learning and I'm venturing out a lot further than what I did at the beginning. And if you would have seen my pack 3 years ago, it was this thing filled. Now this thing with what I had in here was 15 pounds. And every year I'm moving things out, realizing I really didn't need all that. Okay. And I'm battling that gadget thing. Okay. But that first time I went hunting in Virginia, not knowing what was out in the woods, what I'd have to run across, and my old idea of planning for everything, this thing weighed 40 pounds. Okay. With what I pulled out of this, it weighs right around 15 pounds now. Okay. I do think after this season, I do think there's a few more pounds that I can pull out of that. Okay. I would like to get this down with this to be down to 20, 25 pounds. Okay. The pack itself weighs about, I think it's 4.5 pounds. So I'm still working things out. As I said, this won't go in there.
You know, I mean, I think as hunters, your pack changes every year.
Mm-hmm.
And it changes from October to December.
Yeah,
You know, I know mine does.
It does.
And you know, that's part of the fun.
Because October, I never had a puffy coat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, I mean, that doesn't take up much weight,
The
but it
only-
takes up work.
I just thought of something. You don't have any snacks. I gotta have snacks in my pack.
It's actually in the front seat of my truck. I just didn't put it in. It would typically go in the right-hand pouch. No, it would go in the left-hand side. Because when I set this up, if I'm in a tree stand, whether I'm on my platform or I'm on a hang-on, this would be hung to the right of me. So I would want to get to this stuff and this pouch. So my stacks will go here. Okay. And I try to set it up to where stuff that I need that's in here is on this side of my pack, is on this pouch, or on this hip pouch. And then on the opposite side is stuff that I won't need unless I'm on the ground. So I try to take a little bit, I'm only hunting maybe, 2-3 miles from the truck. But sometimes 2 or 3 miles going,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes a long time. So, and maybe my Boy Scout stuff came out of me too.
You know, and that's the beauty of hunting, man. You, as long as it's done legally and ethically, everybody does it differently. You know, I went from carrying everything in cargo pockets
Yep.
to multiple bags and packs, and now I'm down to, one pretty good sized large pack. It's a frame pack because I used to drag everything out. Now I'm too old for that, and I've gotten smarter, and now I quarter everything up and pack it out. So that's the beauty of packs. And I tell you, who doesn't enjoy a good pack dump? You learn from other people, and you see what they've got and what they carry, what makes them comfortable, and that's the beauty of it. So,
Okay. Well, if you have any questions, email us at twoguysintheoutdoors@gmail.com, or just leave a comment here on this show, and let us know what you think. Get out in the outdoors and have some fun.
hey, keep it simple. Just go hunting.
Yep.